I know we're excited about the new vaccine. I'm excited about the new vaccine still. Whatever is going to make this fucking shit stop. I don't even care if it's a fucking if it's all wag the dog bullshit fake shit. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever makes it go away, fine.
Yeah.
Whatever, you guys win. Fuck you. But behind it all, you got to remember Australia and New Zealand didn't need a vaccine to get rid of these. They did.
No.
That is a very important thing that cannot be said enough, because what they did is they gave their country a livable stimulus that kept them out of the workplace for 3 months. They got rid of it that way. We did not have to go through this. These people did not have to die. You do not have to have constant lung scarring. Some of my friends I know. I mean, this is a fucking dude. They did
brain damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we still don't even know yet, what it could, long-term effects. And these are from people that didn't have it bad. They didn't even have it bad.
Right.
It's very infuriating. That is why we needed to drink today, because I'm pretty fucking pissed with this. Thinking of all that on top of this shit with the stimulus that's been going down, and one guy in particular, which we'll get to, and you already know about him. Cheers to you, James, for
cheers.
Keeping it going, man. I don't fuck who's watching at this point. It's me and you having a talk. I just need this in my life. And thank you for those of you that are listening and watching. For real, thank you for giving us, a little push to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I just hope that it serves as some kind of, I don't know, just so that you know that you're not alone out there. I know that there's tons of us out there who feel the way that you and I do. Just kind of hopeless, kind of despondent in the face of this just absolute travesty that is the way that this has been handled from the get-go. And it didn't need to be politicized as hard as it was, as easy as it is to take pot shots at Trump and the GOP, because they've absolutely been atrocious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's not a political issue. It is a systemic issue that both parties are going to be held, that they should be held responsible for. It is their fault. It is absolutely their fault. And as much as, I think I've touched on this a little bit, but personal accountability, it does come into play. We shouldn't be traveling. We shouldn't be, engaging in harmful activities with people that we aren't, confident that they haven't been, quarantining properly, that they may be coming into contact with the general public. Things like that. While that is important, it is extremely, it cannot be overstated how disgusting it is that the people with the power, that they said to us, you have to go to work and you can't do anything other than that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just disgusting. I mean, it was already disgusting before how capitalism is set up, how we are, we're like wage slaves. All of that stuff, we can talk about that, and we will, ad infinitum. But it cannot be overstated that when you take away what little we had, which was our free time and our ability to have community with each other, to
our
have
bands,
interactions, our bands.
It's we're still struggling finding ways, we're doing this, but it ain't the same, man. It isn't
no.
I go down to Space Bar and fucking hang out with you tonight and have a beer, which would totally happen on a fucking Saturday night.
Absolutely.
It's fucking bull. I can't give you a hug or a fucking hang out. Fuck. I'm very fucking angry. And you think about it, man, it's you're right. All these people putting wear a mask. Yes, wear a mask. But the reason we're still dealing with this a year later is because these fuckers just didn't give us a stimulus that was healthy for 3 months. But what they did do is they sunk fucking billions of dollars into the stock market, maybe trillions. That didn't do shit. They sunk all this money into things that had nothing to do with helping us.
$740 billion going to the Pentagon, you guys. That's $2 billion every fucking day.
That could have gone to us, and we're still sitting here. It's just like with the climate change thing, man. It's just like what they're going to do and what they are doing with climate change. They're trying to make it hey, it's your guys' fault. It's your guys' fault this is still going on. No, it fucking isn't. No, it fucking isn't. It's your fault for being a shitty fucking leaders, man. It's your fault for not fucking God damn it. It really, really does drive me crazy angry, man. Fuck. And then you got this motherfucker. If you want to start talking about this motherfucker yet, the one guy holding up the stimulus checks right now that Bernie's
Let's launch into it. Get into it, man. Let's do it. Well, before we do that real fast, a quick cheers to our friend who's watching Jas and our friend Kelly, who said hello from work.
Oh, thank you for watching.
While we're talking about having to work while there's a deadly virus out there trying to kill us.
Sorry, you have to go to work, man. I do too, and it's a bullshit. It's a bullshit, man.
Yeah.
And can you imagine, like, how many people are also going to get this disease this Christmas because they want to be with their
Oh my God.
They're going to get it at the tail end, right before the virus, like, because the vaccine's coming.
Yeah.
People are going to get it.
Well, it's hopefully coming. I mean, who knows how long they're going to delay this or what kind of orders that they're fucking up or whatever other kind of shenanigans that are going to get pulled.
That's true.
I mean, because right now, if you think about it from how Trump thinks, he's got no reason, and his administration has no reason to help us out because they're fucking out the door. They have no motivation, which they already didn't.
Yeah.
Well, their motivation before was to kill as many Democrats as possible. But now they have no reason to do anything positive whatsoever. It's not like it's going to benefit them.
All he wanted was the acknowledgement of being the president. Because even now, I just saw that this is a real thing. He's talking about bringing back the Apprentice show for another season after he's president. So all we ever had to do, James,
Jesus fuck,
just keep him on a TV show. He would have been just as fine, just as useless, just as you could have just changed the channel. But he had to give this guy. That's the whole root of this. With this Senator Ron Johnson, like, how does one fucking man have so much goddamn power that they can keep? So Senator Ron Johnson single-handedly held up the relief bill, which brought half of Americans 600 to the last 9 months because he's worried about the fucking deficit. First of all, that shows he knows absolutely nothing about economics. Secondly, he gave $2 trillion to corporations 23 years ago, sent almost $800 million to defense contractors last week, and was all in on sending corporations $1.5 trillion in April. But he doesn't give a shit that people are losing homes, businesses, lives, health insurance. He's now like a deficit hawk, being a dickhead. And Bernie's the only person down there calling him out. Obviously, it's Bernie Sanders, should have been president, as we all know. Said this a million times. He's the only one calling him out, being like, dude, you are, and he's done this twice. We could all be getting stimuluses, and not even good ones, but like more than what we're getting. It might be something, right? I mean, at least give us a fucking happy Christmas, guys. But like, they can't even do that because they're fucking just the worst of the worst of the worst scum. And that's why we got to guillotine them, man. That's all we can do at this point. Chop their fucking heads off. Agreed. That's it.
That's why I'm drinking guillotines, guys. Again, this episode brought to you by guillotines. Cheers.
Yeah, I don't know how one person can have that much power? How did we let this happen?
Let's ask Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
We got him on the line here. Turtle Face, you're on. Turtle Face?
That's right, Mitch.
That's right. Your constituents are mindless drones in a in a county that is being ravaged right now by the virus that you are refusing to put up any kind of protections against.
Yeah.
And that's right. You are not flexible enough to suck your own cock, and that is why you have to pay poor, underprivileged people to do it for you.
What do you think about Biden being president and like certain Republicans still trying to overturn the election as opposed to joining together and focusing on the problem at hand, which is the coronavirus that's still ravaging our nation?
Great question.
Well,
yes.
He makes a good point there.
I think so. I might be switching teams. I think I'm going red.
Yeah, do it, man. What's it gonna hurt? It's an edgy thing to do nowadays. You know,
edgy. Oh man, and that kind of that makes me think. Have you been following the runoffs at all? Are you? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit last time. But like speaking of areas that are being ravaged by COVID and being ignored by the candidates representing the areas, the representatives. So, man, I'm not going to do this again because last time I couldn't remember her name. Kelly, the woman who is running up against the Reverend.
Right.
She made billions of dollars selling stock. She heard about the coronavirus happening. She was one of these Congress people. There was a handful of them who heard about it, cashed in by, which is insider trading on a governmental level, which is disgusting. So she made, get this, she made millions upon millions of dollars investing in body bags after she heard about COVID.
That's fucked up. And she's the one that's all fucking batshit crazy.
Yes.
Fucking QAnon shit. Or at least, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm starting to think a lot of these people aren't. They know it's bullshit, but they know their constituents are, so they're just acting crazy to get their vote. Do you believe?
It's really hard to say, man. I've had that theory. I had that theory back when like Trump began running and actually got the presidency back in 2016. I was like, is this guy a fucking moron like he seems? Or is he some kind of like evil genius?
I know.
Where he's able to play all of these fucking morons. What we see is if you ignore Joe Biden, which I would love to be able to, Trump, this election got more votes than any other person in history. He's the number 2 right now. With I believe it was 74. I believe that.
Yeah, 74.
74 million.
Yeah, like Biden got like 80 something and 70.
82. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got 74 million people fooled. And it's like, is that through like some kind of 5D chess? Is that some kind of like intellectual, I don't know, the feat of strength, or like is he just so dumb he failed upwards? I mean, it's hard to say he failed upwards because he was born into a position of, elitism. He was able to just, I don't know. It just is baffling to me. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how it works.
And you wonder if he doesn't have some sort of like, because you can see the people around him and they don't seem too bright either.
No.
You wonder if, like Noam Chomsky always said, Trump gives the elites exactly what they wanted, a scapegoat. And he's basically they're like, they can just always be like, hey man, it's not us, it's this Trump guy. Sorry, you should have elected him. Once again, it's your fault. It's like, no, I mean, some weird shit happened to get him in there. Like the fact that he was, it's all fucking, I hate to get on it, but it just seems so orchestrated sometimes.
Absolutely.
And even the vaccine, as we're seeing that article I sent to you where you basically, and this has been true with all vaccines, so it's nothing really new, but you cannot sue the government if the vaccine doesn't work or if you have side effects.
There is a little known agency that does provide relief to victims in situations like this. But as I read an article the article that you sent me actually, that said that it had only paid out like 39 times in the past decade or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, just craziness.
It's, anybody that is trying to help people, they're out there and God bless them all. But like with my car accident I'd been in, there was a group called Victims of Crime. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for him, I would have spent so much money I didn't even have trying to chase. The guy that I got in the car accident with didn't even have insurance. So he was like, hey, you can spend this whole time wasting money trying to chase him and not get anything because he doesn't have anything, or help you out. So we set up a claim with them, and I don't even think this group exists anymore. But anytime there are groups that help the people with shit that's fucked up, it's just it's like throwing fucking peas at a goddamn cannon. I don't know the analogy, but you know what I'm saying. That's
kind of a silly concept too. Like you get in serious trouble if you don't have insurance while you're driving. Yeah. And so you get infractions, and you get fined. Where does that money go? Should that not go to a fund to maybe set up a safety net for people who are victims of accidents by drivers who are uninsured? Does that not make sense? I just came up with that off the top of my fucking head just now.
Exactly. And even when it is on your side, because recently my arm has been hurting again from my job and shit. And I'm not going to lie, I tried to kind of pull the strings to get extra money. But because I've known, he told me that, so I got like $25,000, but back in the day, dude, I snorted it all I did drugs. I think I got a printer, but my wife still beats me up over it. She's like, God damn it, if we could have that money today. I was like, I know, man, I was just partying.
I mean, we can't think of things like that now, though. You know,
I know exactly.
it's hard not to, but
I know
we shouldn't.
but like, there's still like $50,000 apparently, or something like that, in some fund for the future if my shit starts fucking up again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently. Now, I tried recently to get a hold of the guy about it, and he's like, well, you have to use that within 7 years. Like, you didn't fucking tell me that. I have to use it within 7 years. Like, what if
Shit.
my arm might not start hurting until I'm fucking 70, assholes.
Right.
And, it's just not set up. And then, it's that on top of like, it's just all fucked up system. Like, and basically, where does that money go to then? If that money's out there, I'm sure it goes back to the government. Either way, it's like they're really after you when they want their money. But if there's like, you have to bust your balls to get money out of them, as we have seen back to the stimulus.
Yeah. And like that reminds me of like the whole system with paying your taxes. It's like they know exactly how much you owe because they got all the same documents that you got.
Yep.
So you get, you'd assume like, well, you're just going to send me a bill, right? Like, nope. You're going to have to figure it out on your own. Okay. Well, what if I overpay? We're just going to keep it. What if I underpay? We're coming at you plus interest, motherfucker. Have you ever tried to get like you accidentally overpaid or something? Have you ever tried to get money back from the IRS? It is a fucking nightmare. I'm pretty sure Colorado still owes me money. It's fucking bullshit.
They put you through such a ringer that by the end of it, you don't even care, It's like, oh, I fuck you. You keep the 2,000, motherfuckers. I could use it.
Yeah, right. Like, I just fuck off. Like, I've been on the phone with you guys for fucking ever. Like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yep. And then if they get you irritated enough where you cuss, then they can hang up on you.
Right. I cuss immediately without even being irritated.
Yep.
Fuck.
Me too. Fuck them. It's all a racket, James. What are we going to do about it? How do we...
Nothing, because there's nothing to do. Hooray! We're gonna drink guillotines about it.
Yep, or build a real guillotine. Didn't you tell me last week? Was it Chile?
Yeah. No. Where? Shit. Where was it? Was it
Brazil?
Oh my God! It literally just happened. My memory has been shit lately, man.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
All I know is a country built guillotines, and I love that.
Yeah. Where the fuck was that? I was so stoked about it. I don't know. I'm a fake leftist, man. I can't remember.
That's fine. It's on the
violent uprisings.
It's on the last episode. If you guys go back to our listen to all of our episodes. We're great. We're great.
I should only be expected to know exactly what I'm talking about at the moment I'm talking about, and beyond that, I have no responsibility for it.
That's fine. I don't care. I'm just happy that it's happening.
Yes.
Somebody is doing that. I don't know if they're really chopping anybody's heads off.
No, it's symbolic for sure.
Oh, God damn it. We'll get there.
Yeah. No, we won't.
Well,
no, we won't.
This Senator fucking Johnson dude, I would have no problem. Like, what a motherfucker, man. That shit just drives me nuts.
Yeah, so one dude standing in the way against the well-being of I guess I can't say every American, but like the well-being of, I mean, there's 40 million people in this country who are below the poverty line.
Yep.
So all of those people, every working class person, like, and, when we're talking about class issues, this is something that needs to be brought up. We're not talking about income either. You can be working class and, have an income that is, over 100,000 even, or whatever. I'm not trying to set a number on it. That's not what class is. It's not an income thing. So for people who are like doing all right, but working their fucking asses off, you shouldn't feel like you're not part of this movement. You absolutely are. If you are sacrificing your body, your time, your mental health, to provide profits for capitalists, you are the working class and you are a victim. Regardless of how well you're doing within the system, you are a victim because you are not getting the full value of your labor returned to you.
You're also a prostitute, whether you like it or not. We're all prostitutes for the system. And when you go and you shame these women for making money with their bodies, OnlyFans, remember that you are letting your body be destroyed slowly in a warehouse or wherever the fuck you are, or your mind, or even if you're sitting in a chair somewhere and just getting fat, your body's still, we're all being destroyed.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's absurd that we have to spend this much time, this high percentage of our lives away from our loved ones, away from the things that give us, hope, the things that we live for, that we're required to spend this much time away from that in a situation that is akin to torture for many people, just to continue breathing. It's just absurd.
It is, and it didn't have to be this way, and it hasn't always been.
No. That's a very key thing to remember. Yep. This has only been a couple hundred years that we've had to deal with this, you guys. This is not, they make it seem like this is the end-all, be-all, and this is exactly how it's always been and how it will always be. It's only been a couple hundred years of this bullshit. And it is very quick, and that should actually say something in the opposite. It's just that, like, how quickly it went to shit. That's what we should be focusing on.
And it's also very scary, and we've definitely learned that this year, how quickly things can go to shit. But I've also learned one good thing. Me and my wife talk about this. We've learned a lot more independence in different areas, on creative levels, on a financial level. There used to be times we got money from the government, no shame in that. But we got so tired of depending on that money and then having it ripped away from us that we have to go back through the system and try and beg them for more, that we just stopped. And we learned how to save, and we just got better at dealing with our finances, which helped. And not everyone is in that position to do that. But
nor should they have to be. You guys shouldn't have to be.
No.
It shouldn't even be a concern.
It shouldn't
like
be.
With the amount of like produce and like just food in general, food products that we throw away, that we dispose of. That literally, like, I worked at a grocery store before. We were told it was illegal for anybody to consume it.
Yeah,
like we weren't allowed to give it out. Like it was.
I know, it's like. Exactly. It's fucking like and we're born into this system, and it feels normalized because people don't question when things become common sense. And it's like, that's not common sense. I think it was Twain that said all common sense is a misinterpretation that's been passed down. Basically common sense is still relative. It's like, there's a lot of things that are common sense right now.
Yeah.
About the way things are. We're like, well, that's just the way it is, man. It's like, well, it's that way because you were conditioned into that, socially conditioned to that, believing like.
And who defines what common sense is?
Exactly. It gets very.
That's ridiculous.
And then you got to look back, and the creepy thing to me is, James. The creepy thing to me is, and it's very much along the lines of what you said about the Trump thing. Is he smart? Is he dumb? Are there some forces working in him? Is he just is he like some weird fucking Gollum that's just something's working through?
Yes.
He's brain dead. I don't fucking know. But it's scary to me that there seems to be a process that's slow moving, that's making us forget how to be dependent off the government slowly over time. Like, you look at back in the days when we used to farm and we used to churn our own butter and we used to fucking, live off the land. And that seems downright, well, the land's basically destroyed. To be like, it's seeming more and more impossible that we're going to be able to get back to that if we were able to even do so. I mean, that's where it's just like, find ways to be independent, from the government as much as you can.
See, and I will counter with what you're saying. It's not necessarily that we're supposed to be dependent on the government. That's different. Like, I mean, that's kind of playing into exactly how they want us to, how they're framing it.
Yeah.
What we're talking about, what we want as I'm now just going to speak for all leftists, but it's not about being dependent on the government. It's about the government serving the needs of the people, not being dependent on the government. The government's dependent on us.
Yes.
And for all of us suffering and dying in the numbers that we are, while the government has the power, has the ability, and has the responsibility to take care of us, because that's what we pay them to do. That's not dependent on the government. That is the other way around.
Yeah.
I'll step in and I'm sorry, I've got to disagree with you on that. Like,
maybe you're right.
Yeah,
here's the thing.
It's an improper framing, and it's the framing that they have dictated to us, that like, oh, you're just sucking on the teat of the government. Like, no, motherfucker, we pay fucking taxes. What are you doing for a living? What are you doing? You're not representing us, which is your whole fucking thing.
My point, for one, you're right, because the stimulus, that's our tax money.
It's our money.
They haven't earned that money. They're out there playing games with our money. So
yes,
I agree with you 100%. But James, I'm coming from a point of view that is post belief in the government. And I'm saying we ain't never getting that money from them. So we need to start thinking for ourselves beyond them. We need to stop believing the government's going to help you. Your government is not, they do not care about you. So
I'm down with that. I'm down with that, but only on the stipulation that we stop paying the government. And this is something I've been really kicking around lately. Why the fuck are we going to be paying taxes in April? Why? The fuck? They openly killed 300,000 people while you look around the rest of the fucking planet and nothing like that has happened anywhere else. And I don't we can question the numbers. There's conspiracies everywhere. Fuck. Okay, fine. That might be the case. And yeah, some of the numbers from the 300,000 might not be appropriate to be lumping in there. But I don't give a fuck. Regardless, you cannot argue that the way that the government has handled this has been just flat out awful.
And once again, we go back to Australia, we go back to New Zealand. If you need any more proof that there is a way to have done it that was smart, like those people are wonderful. And I'm pretty sure
you look at Canada, you look at Norway, you look at Sweden, you look at all of these way more advanced cultures than us. Way more advanced as far as like progressive, interests in the people being the center of what the government is focused on. Because again, we've completely lost sight, and I've said this before on this show, but like we've completely lost sight of what a government is for, both the left and the right, or both Democrats and the Republicans. When you talk about the government, you can tell they don't know what the government is supposed to be there for. The government is supposed to be there to make sure that the well-being of the people who live in the country that we exist in, that the government represents, is doing as well as possible. But in America, it has nothing to do with that. It only has to do with the health and the income of the fucking corporations, and that's it. And that's the bottom line. And we're all just numbers walking around, and we're losing every step of the way.